Hey, what's going on everybody? Glad you tuned into this video because I have one hair transplant clinic I need to talk about in this video. And I don't recommend them. This is not a good hair transplant clinic. However, it's been bugging me for so long since I discovered them, and I just need to get this information off of my chest. Now, this hair transplant clinic specializes in one particular thing, and it's not customized hair transplant approach towards hair restoration. It's not a customized hairline design, none of that. In fact, it's very predictable, and they literally don't let you go until your hairline looks like this after the hair transplant. And no matter whether you were a Norwood 2, Norwood 4, Norwood 6, or even Norwood 7 before the hair transplant, okay? Guys, this is gonna be really interesting, so make sure you stay tuned, keep watching. And before we start, this video has been brought to you by GoFiber, which are hair building fibers you can use to mask any thinning or any patchy areas on your scalp to make your hair look thicker and better. So make sure you check out the link in the video description below where you can visit GoFiber, get a free sample of your choice from them and try them out. See if you like them. Before we take a look at some of their ridiculous hair transplant results, which are even more ridiculous than this clinic itself. And I call this clinic Drake Clinic. Why Drake Clinic? Because if you go there, no matter if you are a Norwood 2 or Norwood 6 or Norwood 7, you end up with Drake's hairline. And that would sum it up pretty well. We don't need to hear your Norwood scale. They just do what they do. They square it off, they bring the temples to the front, make the hairline very low, no matter if you're Norwood 5 or 6 or 2, no matter. This is their before and after gallery, is a strong word, on their website, which looks like the internet from 1995, to be honest. And I'm just very skeptical already based on what I see here. They also have their Instagram page, which is the infamous Instagram page of this clinic, and I wish I didn't have to share with you the name of the clinic, but their logo is literally everywhere, so I didn't have time to blur it out always. It will be just too much work. This is the summary. It's an FUE clinic only. They're accepting non-hair transplant candidates, and you will see it on many of their results, which is a really bad thing. You shouldn't do this as a clinic. It just shows that you don't have any ethics. You just want to make money. You just accept any person and you're willing to destroy that person's life, especially if it's a young guy who's already like a Norwood 6 and he doesn't have a good donor, and you promise him that he's gonna look like Drake. His hairline looks gonna look great and he's gonna be happy with it. No, he's not gonna be happy. Let me start with the worst result, literally. I mean, look at this. We see the hairline that resembles to like a Norwood 1 already, almost, okay? Like Norwood 1 to Norwood 2 transition. I mean, how? How can you do this on somebody who is already almost Norwood 7 with very thin sides and occipital region? I mean, how many grafts they were like hoping to get for this gentleman? I mean, I don't know. They thought, look at the outlined area, by the way. It looks like they were thinking to cover it up with his grafts from the sides and back. I mean, look at that. Like, I see maybe 1,000 to 2,000 grafts at most from his whole donor area based on how it looks here. I don't know. Did this guy have like magically, I don't know, 10,000 more body hair follicles transplanted on this area? I have no idea. We see that even his lateral humps are already thinned out. They're already pretty much gone. So again, I mean, this is not a hair transplant candidate at all. Now, we don't see the after results from this gentleman either, because that's another disadvantage of this clinic. They only post like these types of results right after the procedure or before the hairline design, or you know, some shots during the hair transplant planning, but they don't give you they don't really post like many after results from their patients, like after several months or even years. So this is already pretty sketchy. That's what I call sketchy. So guys, if you are checking out a hair transplant clinic and you see that they're just even accepting such type of individual who is clearly not a hair transplant candidate, just stay away from this clinic. This is definitely already saying so much about this clinic and about their practice and the way they are doing their procedures. They're doing aggressive, not customized hairline design. You will see it as well. It's very aggressive. They don't see any middle ground. They either go way too too aggressive or nothing, okay? They have only one hairline design variation, if you will. No matter, again, how old you are, how severe your hair loss has been already, no matter what is your ethnicity, it's the same hairline always. Really bad. They're also doing very aggressive hair, temporal hair restoration with the first hair transplant already. And they do it by advanced Norwoods as well. And that's really bad because you don't know how it's going to look like once that hair grows. You should start more conservative if you are restoring the hair with a Norwood 6, and if he has then still enough reserves in the donor after the first procedure and the survival rate was great, you can still do a little bit of the temple if you think that, but not with the first session. Like, that's really bad, okay? You should not want to do this. Maybe if you are Norwood 2, you can start with doing the temples, or Norwood 3, you could get away with doing the temples right away with the first surgery, but not by advanced Norwoods. Please, that's too extreme. You cannot do it as a clinic. I mean, look at that. What is this? I mean, what is this? They try to do the hairline, they do the temple, and they do the sideburns, like all the way down. Yeah. I mean, luckily they didn't continue with the beard all the way to the chin. That would be massive. If we take a look at the grafts on the temple here, especially in this zone. Now, if we take a look at their graft placement, look at it here, guys. I mean, it's all the same thickness. I mean, I see the same density, and also the choice of the transplanted follicles seem to be very similar, and I doubt that here are singles too. Imagine how many single grafts normally would be needed to transplant into this area, because normally you see only these thinner single grafts on this temporal side. But in this case, however, you see how all this area seems to consist from the same type of hair follicles, maybe doubles, some triples, you know, it just seems the same to me. It's not like here are singles and here above there are more like doubles and triples, you know what I mean? It's not like that, it's all the same. So once this thing will grow longer, guys, it will look the same in thickness. It will look so dark on the temples compared to his rest of the hair on the side here, and it's just gonna create like a weird contrast. It's gonna look so bushy. Trust me, it's gonna look so bushy. I can already tell from here. And that's why if patients want to have their temples restored as well, it has to be done not so invasively as here. It cannot be done in such a big fashion, really, because normally you need singles for these temples, and there is no way that these are only singles here. There would need to be like, I don't know, 400 or 500 singles on one and another 500 singles on left temple. This is not naturally occurring in patients. Usually patients don't have so many singles and they need to be dissected, and I highly doubt that this clinic has stereo microscopes and really pays attention to dissecting doubles and triples into singles in order for them to be placed on temples in higher quantities. I mean, in hundreds and hundreds of singles. No way. That's why it's very dangerous, and I already see that this guy will end up with a very bushy looking sides, very bushy looking temples, where the transplanted hair will not look any different than the transplanted hair on the front. If we take a look closer, I even think that on some areas of the front, guys, the density is even less than on, like here on the temple. How is this possible? It cannot be more. You cannot have higher density on the temple than on the hairline. I mean, that's gonna look so ridiculous, guys. I mean, if you take a look here, I mean, it's not good. It's so not good, this result. I really don't want to see the end result, guys. I mean, once this thing will grow, the sides and the back got probably over harvested already, because it seems like they tried to do like what, 4,500, maybe 5,000 grafts from this donor. I didn't see his donor before, but I'm not sure it was so strong. And once it's gonna grow and the bag will look thinned out because of some over harvesting, it's gonna look like this guy is a DJ wearing permanent headphones all over his head with all that bush of the transplanted hair growing like this. It's gonna look ridiculous. Anyways, let's take a look at some other results. Again, we have another example of a Norwood almost 7. This is ridiculous. Almost a Norwood 7. His lateral humps are gone, and we see that his hairline looks like mine. Like it's like my hairline, guys. And look at his donor, by the way. Look at the donor on the sides. It's so thin. I'm not sure his back. Okay, his back is maybe a little bit better, but man, how many grafts can you get? How? I don't know. Not so many. But why would you put the hairline so low? I have no idea. I have no idea, but it's ridiculous, guys. This is another case. Here we have another case. No matter whether you are Norwood 6, Norwood 7, or even, I don't know, like literally there was one Norwood 7 who also got this. No, I mean, it's ridiculous, guys. Look, this is a Norwood 7. This is a textbook Norwood 7. They don't care. They do the operation also on a Norwood 7, like this guy. It's a textbook Norwood 7 example. I mean, how do you, like, where do you get that hair from? I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. If you create such a straight hairline like Drake has, okay, he has a straight hairline, the density needs to be very high in order for that transplant not to look fake. And also the density of the existing hair behind the hairline, it needs to be really dense. Otherwise it's gonna look really fake, and it's gonna, just after a couple of years, even the transplanted hair may miniaturize a little bit because it's already coming from that limited Norwood 6, donor zone, maybe even Norwood 7 donor zone, as you have seen, and these follicles are not going to look that fresh after some time, and they're gonna also, they may miniaturize with time as well. So you see what they're doing here. I mean, it's really crazy what they're doing. And even if you see some results here of a guy after 6 months, we can see that he has probably a shitload of hair fibers in his hair, or some dermamage as well. It's not a very convincing result to me. In fact, I don't even want to describe this, guys. This is ridiculous. Let's talk about this guy. I mean, again, he's diffusely thinning, and again, we see temples, we see a hairline which is squaring off his forehead. It's very edged up. For the first surgery already, we can see the same with this guy. Again, diffusely thinning. What? Norwood 6, Norwood 5 to Norwood 6. Again, the temples, they need to be done. They need to be done with these guys. There's no other way around it. And look, the same thing here. We see the same thing happening here. Okay, this is the headphone guy. Oh my God, I don't want to see the end result. Okay, we can see the donor at least after the harvesting has been done, but I'm sure this donor area won't be able to be used after that, and this guy will definitely lose hair in the future still. This is probably one of the very few results who are actually like a more suitable candidates for such hairline design, like somebody who's maybe like a Norwood 2 to Norwood 3 transition, who is on medication or who has been already on medication, and he's very compliant with the medication. That means that the medication like finasteride or minoxidil are working for him, have been working for him for already some time, and helped him stabilize the hair loss. Such guy definitely could get away with such more like aggressive hairline design, but not guys like that. Okay, and definitely not for the very first procedure already. Okay, now this is also crazy. I mean, look at that, guys. They do like temporal hair restoration together with the beard, also with the rest of his scalp. It's probably like, hey, I don't want to see his donor really. They didn't even show it, but it will probably look very bad, to be honest. I don't want to see. But again, guys, why did they do this? This is so wrong, guys. It's looking so dense. It may look so thick and bushy once it grows. They should have done something more like this, maybe. And if the patient would have responded well to medication over the next couple of years, and the donor area was still great by that time, then they could have gone more aggressive with another surgery and maybe do some temporal work later on as well here. But like so far with the first surgery already, that's too crazy. I mean, that's like really bad. Temporal hairline hairline as well as the anterior hairline planning. It's really not good. Now, another mysterious thing about this clinic is that they rarely share with you the before and after results. They usually share the after result, like the result right after the procedure, maybe a couple days after the procedure, but not like after 5 to 12 months after the procedure. You rarely see these results on their Instagram page if you scroll through it. Most of their after results, 90% of them, or even more, 95%, whatever, are the post-op results coming immediately after the surgery, where the graft placement is shown. It shouldn't be mistaken for the end result, because the transplanted hair density initially after the hair transplant may appear to be dense, and you may count these follicles and it may look like it's dense, but once that hair grows after 1 year mark or after 6 months, you may see that it's actually not that thick, it's actually not that dense, because the skin to hair contrast, it's maybe way too high, it doesn't blend so nicely, and that's why you see through that hair maybe the hair is thin. And even if initially it had been placed dense, the thin hair shaft, once it grows, it's going to create higher see-through effect, because you cannot see that hair shaft, can you, when the hair is just the dot, it's just the placed graft freshly after the hair transplant. You cannot see how that shaft will evolve after 1 year mark, and that's why you cannot mistake the immediate post-op photos after 2 hours with the post-op photos which are coming 1 year after. That's it. I'm not looking at any more of their results. You have seen what you needed to see, and I hope it helped you out and cleared some things as well before your potential hair transplant. And I'm sure this video is going to help out some guys before their hair transplant research. If you need my personal help, you can also check out my website mattdominance.com/mentoring, where you can apply for a one-on-one consultation with me, where I can help you out with that one-on-one, also with your hair loss management as well. We can discuss all that, no problem. You can visit also my Facebook group for free hair transplant experiences with almost 3,000 members in the group. You can like this video, subscribe to my channel, and of course check out some of my hair transplant related guides on my website as well, like best hair transplant clinics in Turkey, best hair transplant doctors worldwide collection, and also how to do the proper hair transplant research. If you don't want to speak with me, you can just read my guide. That's also great. So make sure you check these things out. That was it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna be seeing you in another video.